Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing the good people of Kogi Central. Permit me to lead the debate on the general principles of the Nigerian Gold Reserve Bill 2024. The bill seeks to make provisions for the legal and institutional framework for the creation and management of gold reserves in Nigeria, to improve the value of our currency, as well as serve as a hedge against inflation and ensure stability of the economy vis-a-vis our monetary system and policy. The gold reserves are critical for the economic stability of a country, acting as a reliable store of value, particularly during financial uncertainties. The gold standard was a global practice in the late 1800s and a significant part of the 1900s. During that era, countries backed the value of their paper money with gold by establishing a fixed exchange rate between their currency and a specific amount of gold. Essentially, each unit of currency issued had a corresponding value in gold, and individuals could exchange their paper money for actual gold at this set rate. Although officially abandoned in the 1970s for fiat currencies, that is, paper monies not backed by gold or silver, many countries still maintain gold reserves. The demand for gold reserves currently is rising due to growing global economic uncertainties. Central banks of developed and developing countries like the United States, Germany, and China are once again favoring gold as their preferred safe haven asset. Gold reserves continue to play a crucial role in shaping a country's creditworthiness and overall economic standing, even as the contemporary economic landscape evolves. Before the fall of the Naira that we are now experiencing the negative effects, 1 Naira was equivalent to $1 or even greater at a time. This was because the value of the Naira was measured against gold. By virtue of Section 2 of the Financial Agreement Decimal Currency Act, the act that established the use of the Naira, the parity of the Naira shall be equivalent to 1.24414 grams of fine gold. A gram of gold is currently approximately $75.70. This was the strength of the Naira before its fall. Nigeria boasts of a significant gold reserves estimated at over 300 million ounces. An ounce is approximately 28.35 grams. The current market price of an ounce of gold is $2,342 US, and this is calculated against the 300 million ounces. The Nigeria gold market has a potential of over 700 billion US dollars. Yet, Nigeria's gold production and market remains relatively low because of inadequate legislative and framework. By Section 24 and 25 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, the Central Bank of Nigeria is mandated to maintain a reserve of external assets consisting of gold, coins, and bullion at all times, and to endeavor to maintain external reserves at levels considered by the bank to be appropriate for economic and monetary systems of Nigeria. Regrettably, this mandate is being observed in the breach, as Nigeria has maintained only a reserve of about 21.37 metric tons of gold acquired in the late 60s and early 70s. This is in spite of Nigeria's abundant gold resources. Currently, our total gold reserves are worth a little over $1 billion US. This pales into insignificance when compared with countries like the United States with 8,113.46 metric tons of gold, Germany with 3,352.65, metric tons, and China with 2,235.36 metric tons. Or nearer home in Africa, Algeria, Egypt, and South Africa, who hold gold reserves in multiple dozens higher than Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, allow me to highlight some key aspects and benefits of Nigeria Gold Reserve Bill that merit our collective attention and support. The Nigeria Gold Reserve Bill represents a proactive step towards harnessing and maximizing the potential of our gold reserves by establishing a robust framework for the harnessing, exploitation, and marketing of gold. This bill, if passed, will not only strengthen Nigeria's position in the global gold market, but also ensure responsible and sustainable practices that benefit our economy and communities. Specifically, the bill seeks to establish the Nigerian Gold Authority that will be charged, amongst others, with the administration of Nigerian Mining Act with regards to our gold resources, thereby creating a robust gold reserve industry for the country and enhancing the exploitation and sales of gold within Nigeria that will not only enhance the engagement and earning power of artisanal local miners, but also ensure the maintenance of a strong gold reserve ratio as bulwark for strong and resilient economy that will create jobs in Nigeria through the gold industry. The bill presents a significant opportunity to drive economic growth and diversification by creating a conducive environment for investment in the gold sector that can attract both domestic and foreign investors, stimulate job creation, and boost revenue streams for the government. Again, recognizing the importance of environmental sustainability, the bill incorporates stringent regulations to minimize ecological footprint of gold mining and processing activities. It emphasizes reclamation and rehabilitation efforts to ensure the long-term health of our natural ecosystems. By adhering to international best practices in gold mining and trading, the Nigerian Gold Reserve Bill positions Nigeria as a reliable and responsible player in the global gold market, which will enhance our competitiveness on the international stage and strengthen investors' confidence in our gold industry. Distinguished colleagues, as we deliberate on this crucial legislation, let us draw inspiration from the success stories of nations worldwide whose prudent management of gold reserves has catalyzed economic growth and boosted currency stability. Countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are shining examples of how strategic utilization of gold reserves can yield significant economic benefits. For the most part of 2023, the BRICS coalition has risen as a significant force in the global market. The alliance made impressive strides in the de-dollarization of the global economy. The BRICS is using gold to facilitate a shift in global demand away from the US dollars. Central banks globally have been increasing reserves held in gold as a hedge against currency volatility and geopolitical risks. The Reserve Bank of India, for instance, which has 822.09 tons in reserve, even holds 50% of its gold reserve domestically through similar legislative framework as being proposed in this bill. The exceptional quality of gold found in Nigeria signifies a substantial growth opportunity, especially given the global demand for gold in various sectors. By capitalizing on gold's intrinsic value, Nigeria can position itself as a key player in the global market. Distinguished colleagues, as I round up this debate, I crave your indulgence to outline in precise the benefits of Gold Reserve Bill if it is passed into law. Economic diversification, foreign investment and revenue generation, job creation, currency stability, infrastructure development, environmental protection, community development, global competitiveness, regulatory clarity and transparency, strategic national reserve. Distinguished colleagues, the Nigerian Gold Reserve is not just a legislative endeavor. It is a strategic imperative. It is a strategic imperative that aligns with our national developmental goals. The bill contains 80 sections segmented into 5 parts and 5 chapters. A compendium of financial implications of this bill is attached thereto. It will entail a modest budget takeoff, as it would be self-sponsored and high-income yielding in the medium and long run. I therefore urge you all, distinguished senators, to lend your support to this bill, recognizing its potential to drive economic prosperity, promote sustainable practices, and unlock the full value of Nigeria's gold reserve for the benefit of all Nigerians. Thank you all so much.
Bill, this all-important bill, and to say that, yes, indeed, part of what we see in most major economies today is that most of them, like she mentioned in the presentation, whether it's China, US, or India, a lot of them are moving into also using gold to shore up the reserves of their economies. Now, from the presentation as well, it also informed us about the quantum of reserves of gold that we have in this country. So for me, I think that the gold that actually count as reserves are gold bars that also will go through a process of proper refining. So what I see in this presentation is that it creates an awareness for us as a country that the reserves that we have, that yes, we have it deposited all over as a natural endowment, but this is a wake-up call for us to see how best we can harness this and refine it properly. And of course, so when I hear things like creating wealth, creating jobs, yes, it's the process. There is a process that we must follow. So for me, I think this is a wake-up call for us to reorganize the industry wherein we have the gold reserves. We see a lot of what one can describe as illegal mining of gold and all of that, but really mining it into the gold bars that will constitute that the reserves that we desire is still a process that we as a country we must embark upon, because through that process you must have a refining industry that can process this thing into acceptable gold bars that you can actually keep as reserves for the country and for global competitiveness. So it's a very good attempt as to how we can refine and reorganize our industry. So for me, I think that will be the starting point for us. So perhaps we will need to bring this to the consciousness of the solid minerals industry, sector of the country and of our economy, to make sure that it's about time that we begin to explore some of our God-given natural endowments that can also help us both in terms of economic diversification, creating jobs, and ultimately when we get to that final position when we can manufacture gold bars that can stand global competitiveness, of course, again, it can now begin to count as some of the suggested results for the country. I so submit, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. President, let me join others in commending the prime mover of this bill, because it is high time as a country we place emphasis on actual diversification of our economy. And one major areas which we all agree that we need to address is one of such bill that is being introduced this afternoon. Mr. President, you will agree with me that the amount of illegal miners of these, our natural resources across this country is not quantifiable. Are we aware that the total gold reserve of Nigeria is over 600,000 tons? And a metric tons of gold today is $75 billion. Are you equally aware that our gold reserve in terms of value worth about $45 billion? $45 billion. Are you aware we have more gold reserve than countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burkina Faso, and others that we are not harnessing? Mr. President, the setting up of this gold reserve industries framework and other related matter will go a long way to, among other things, regulate the exploration and exploitation of gold operations in Nigerian government. And it will also assist the development and investment in the gold industries. Mr. President, this bill has been well thought out, and if you look at the content of the bill, you will quite agree with me. He has made several provisions, including the host communities. They are adequately taken care of, as we have in the oil and gas sector. That if this bill is properly implemented, the host community will be adequately taken care of. This bill has equally proposed severe punishment for all these illegal miners that we have, and that is in various sections as contained in that particular bill. Mr. President, very distinguished colleague, I want to call on all our colleagues to please, for once, let us get it right in this sector. I don't want to start mentioning states like Zamfara and other states of the Federation where we have this thing in abundance. Oshu State, where you have this Chinese company doing illegal mining across the board. I believe this bill will strengthen our things, and it will ensure a proper monitoring in terms of investment and trying to put Nigeria on the world map as one of the countries with the largest gold reserve. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, on this note, I call on all my colleagues to let us support this bill holistically, and let's give it an expeditious passage of the second reading so that we can quickly work on it and come back here and pass it and make it a law. Thank you. I so submit, Mr. President.
Me a fool, whoever he is, and this is should be men. Senators should learn manners on how they address their fellow. I understand his constraint, but if I don't even if I don't understand, he has no reason to call me a fool. I take exception to that.
Sorry, we'll discuss that later.
Okay.
Just contribute to this debate.
Thank you very much, the Senate President, for this opportunity to contribute to this very important bill, ably initiated by Senator Natasha. Sir, as you are aware, the value of Naira keep falling every day because we don't have enough foreign currency reserve. So this is a low-hanging fruit. We have this gold deposit. If the central bank can buy this gold deposit and turn them into bars, this is a quick win. The value of Naira will show up immediately. So, with the amount of itinerant miners going mining gold and selling it illegally, and people shipping it out of this country without trace, if the central bank, you are not using dollars to buy gold, you are going to use Naira. If the central bank use the same Naira to buy gold, it will show up the value of our currency immediately. Before we even start putting this money into the right perspective we have, we want a framework where all the gold that is mined either legally or illegally in this country is being purchased by the central bank. And once it is done, I can guarantee you in the next 1 year, the value of Naira will change even if we don't have foreign direct investment. So this is the right bill to do. This is the right way to go. I commend this senator that bring this bill, that if it is implemented, we have almost guaranteed that within the next 1 year, the Naira will begin to appreciate even if there are no direct foreign investment. I second this bill full-heartedly. Thank you very much, the Senate President.
Thank you. I can see so many senators want to speak on this bill. So we'll allocate 2 minutes for each speaker, and then we'll take about 4.
The second reading of this bill. And I want to follow up with my fellow colleagues who supported this bill. And Mr. President, I want to say that this bill is coming at the right time, because without the framework, all the issues raised cannot be done, cannot be performed. And if you look at the lead debate, Mr. President, 2 issues came up. First, about stabilization of our currency. If we have gold reserve, our currency will be stabilized, and we won't be having the issues we have right now in the country. Secondly, the issue of employment. It will reduce the unemployment rate in the country by creating jobs. And Mr. President, I want to call on us to ensure that if this bill is passed, that no gold will leave this country raw. It must be refined in the country before it be taken out of Nigeria. I so submit, Mr. President.
Thank you. By going with the time, Senator Sani Musa, then Senator Sita Naso on this side, then Nelda.
I'm only seeking for my space.
My distinguished colleagues, this bill is very important, especially to the economic development of this country, and it's coming at the right time. I'm happy that the presenter of this bill captured it as industry framework, because for a country to have a gold reserve and take that as a means of economic value for the country, it must undergo so many processes. Because when you have a gold reserve, you pay your commitments or you receive your payments in gold as well. So the World Gold Council has to certify that the gold you have has met that standard, and the reserve you have has equally met the standard for it to be transactional. So I believe that we can start working out a framework at which we will have our country certified. First, we have artisan miners. I have a motion that I'm coming up with on regard of these activities of mining in Nigeria. Those are some of the things that we must first and foremost consider when we are working out a framework for what we have explored to come out in value as an asset for the country. So, Mr. President, I support this bill. While supporting this bill also, I will want us to clarify one most important issue. When you say gold reserve and you tie it to your monetary activities, the CBN must, first and foremost, in our monetary policies, we must reflect it. And if it is not yet reflected in that,
Chairman,
that is where we start.
1 second remaining. 1 second. Chairman Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. That is where we start. We start the framework, the process it as which we will have a gold mining, we have gold refining, we have people that will do the quality assurance, we have, the stages. So I think this is a welcome bill, and we will look at it very well and support it.
Thank you. Senator Nelda, 2 minutes.
This bill is a very, very important bill. I believe also, as the previous speaker just spoke, that it's a bill, if taken very seriously, will help again in the diversification of our economy. Today, what we depend on is oil. And we know that even the oil itself, there are so many aspects to it, as we're having gas and other products taking its place. And so having this bill at this time we help the country again to rest on the very, very important minerals that will also help our economy. It's also going to create a lot of jobs, and it's also going to at least help with the environmental degradation that is going on now through illegal mining. And it's also going to help these artisans who are doing it now, because they can be trained and retrained and help to bring them back into the industry when it is fully entrenched. So I support this bill wholeheartedly, and I also enjoin our colleagues to support this bill. It's a bill that will help the country and all of us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator.
And to say the bill has come at the right time. But the snag is that the bill, if given effect, if passed, it's not something that is going to be given effect immediately because of some of the things that have been mentioned by my colleagues, particularly Senator Sani Musa. I'm happy that she said it's a framework and it is going to guide in the amendment of the Solid Minerals Act that is going to come, because if that is not done, it will be like putting the cart before the horse. Now, we do not know actually all these figures being bandied around. Nobody knows the exact reserve we have in Nigeria, because if you go to the mining cadastre, the geosciences, they will not tell you the exact reserve that we have. So that has to be put in place. We don't have a standard refinery in Nigeria. That has to be put in place. If this bill is created and it has to be worked on, it means that gold that is going to be bought here is going to be exported, is going to be imported, because we do not know the quantity of gold that is being taken out every day. I am talking from experience. Every day, a lot of gold is being taken out of this country, but it's not declared. It's smuggled out. And so this bill is very good. It is going to help in creating employment and so many other things, but I'm sure the framework will have to be put in place before the bill takes effect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our time is up, but I'm going to yield 1 minute.
Osita Izunaso, I represent Imo West. Mr. President, this bill couldn't have come at a better time than this. I want to align myself 100% in support of this bill for 3 reasons. Number one, Nigeria ranked number 6 in Africa in terms of gold reserve, with approximately 21.7 metric tons. Nigeria also ranked number 56 in terms of gold reserve in the world. But our gold in Nigeria is treated with a lot of laxity on the part of the citizens. That is why we have a lot of issues concerning gold. I'm not aware of any country that is as blessed as Nigeria in terms of gold reserve. If you go to Zamfara, we were told that when it rains, you can even pick gold on the street. But as of today, we don't have a proper regulating agency for gold. Mr. President, gold has been listed in Nigeria Commodity Exchange by SEC, and it is only the Lagos Commodity Exchange that trades in gold. But look at their chart, that Lagos Commodity Exchange in gold. No activity there year in, year out.
Have 1 second.
It is because our people do not have proper information on how to preserve gold. In fact, the only way we preserve gold is through our women. They buy this gold and they keep it as reserve. When they don't have money, they sell it. But we can do far better than that, Mr. President. So I think we should all support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Mr. President, I am coming from the position of security of lives. Mr. President, our inability to regulate gold mining activities in Nigeria has contributed close to 70-75% of insecurity we have in this country, Mr. President, not politics. Mr. President, people coming in for this gold comes with red eyes, and sometimes they don't have regards for human lives. You can take example of what is happening in Zamfara and different parts of the country wherever they are mining this gold illegally. So I am supporting this bill, Mr. President, from the point of, one, from the point of security, two, from the point of being mocked as a nation. Our neighboring countries like Dubai, if you go to Dubai and see how they are processing, bringing in gold from Nigeria, countries like Nigeria where they take this gold from there to transit to different parts of the world, we are being mocked. So it is very, very important that we give a nod to this bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Wadada.
All that needs to be said about this bill have been said. Looking at why we are here, let's even limit it now to why are we here. We are here to make the situation in all facets better. We are here to see that enabling laws that will stand the test of time are enacted. We are here to see that Nigerians are gainfully employed. We are here to ensure that the GDP of Nigeria improves. We are here to ensure that we do all we need to do to strengthen and deepen the capacity of our currency. We are here to ensure that our foreign reserve is beefed up. And all this is enveloped, it is integrated and carried within the provision of this all-important bill. So we need to give it the needed support so that we are seen to be responsive and responsible.
Thank you. I go straight to the point. I am Issa Jibrin, representing Kogi East. First, I want to commend my sister, Senator Natasha, for this thoroughly researched bill. She did a lot of job. Okay, I want to commend her for that. Having said that, I want to believe that this is the type of bill we need to turn around the fortune of this country when we are talking of thinking out of the box. It is one of such bills. Then, going further, I want to believe that the strength of our Naira is today determined by our foreign exchange reserve. Bringing this bill on board and enhancing the utilization of the gold reserves in Nigeria will beef up the strength of our currency, because that will invariably increase our foreign exchange reserve. Whatever shortcomings there may be in the bill as it stands today, I believe that I should go through the second reading. Whatever shortcomings or further comments that may be required from the public will be handled at the public hearing. I want to believe that the CBN will have a lot of comments to pass on this. I equally want to believe that the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals will have so many comments on this. And I want to equally believe that the Federal Ministry of Finance will have a lot of contributions on this. But as it stands today, I believe that this bill should pass the second reading.
Thank you, Senator Munir.
State. Mr. President and my colleagues, I do align myself completely with all the prayers, as it were, in this particular bill. It's a very commendable bill in every aspect of it, just as my colleague Ifaniba emphasized on dealing with insecurity. But for me, the most important aspect of this bill is the fact that gold can be used as a hedge against inflation in Nigeria. That is so important because it will make us less reliant on US dollars.
Thank you. Because of time, one second.
Just one. Thank you. I also, on the issue of foreign reserve, if we have a commission that manages our gold reserve and managed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. It will also take us away from the dollarization of our economy, because every trading in gold will be done in
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone want to speak. Senator Vito, only one minute, please, so that.
Point of order. Go back to I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, for want of time, I'll just quickly say that I support this bill from Senator Natasha Akpoti, because this country is blessed with so many resources: oil, solid minerals. Gold is one solid mineral Nigeria is blessed with, that if we're able to harness it, we shall be able to boost our revenue earning capacity of this country. And if the industry is properly provided for and regulated, Nigeria will be able to make fortune out of these huge gold deposits that litter across Zamfara and Osun State and other parts of Nigeria. So there's no point belaboring the issue. This bill is very important for the reasons adduced in the bill. I wholeheartedly support it so that we can broaden our revenue base. It's not only oil that will be bringing dollars to Nigeria. If we have a vibrant gold industry, we will have a lot of dollars that will support our oil revenue capacity. Thank you, Mr. President.
Please, we have time. The economic situation we are, and also the insecurity problems we have. Most of the criminal elements that are illegally mining in the Northwest and in Nigeria in general, they coordinate their illicit wealth by buying arms through illegal means to maim and kill innocent citizens in Nigeria. And one of the major problems we have, which we need to address it, since the federal government has made mention of banning illegal mining, the security situation of this country deteriorated. So we need to have a political will and also pass a stingy law that will support this bill made by our respected colleague, because this will generate revenue for this country, because most of the countries of the world depend on this gold. And if you go to Kaduna State in Benin Gwari axis, in Zamfara State, in Katsina axis, all were criminal elements that are harboring in that area. They depend on these illegal mining activities. Mr. President, it is not only Fulani herdsmen that are killing people in this country. It's this criminal element through this gold mining and other source of illicit mineral resources. So I support this very important bill for consideration. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senator Adams.
And to say that we should strengthen it by giving some of the agency the teeth to bite. Mr. President, sir, several years ago, I had the privilege of receiving a report from evil seasoned generals who warned me that if the Nigerian government does not pay attention to illegal mining of gold, what is happening in some part of the country, what is going to happen in Zamfara will be worse. It has all come to pass. I think it is time to put an end to crying and lamenting, to getting the state to discharge its responsibilities of protecting all our national assets. Every other thing that needs to be said has been said. I support this bill in total, and if there's any additional clause that need to be added to give it the teeth to bite, including provision for imprisonment for those who are involved, both local collaborators and foreigners who are coming to Nigeria to cut away, and they look at us like fools. I mean, as we speak right now, somebody is involved in illegal mining of gold,
and they take them out of this country, and they make money and put in their pocket. They use that money to undermine our political system, our security system, every aspect of our national life. They distort our national values. I think everything that needs to be done needs to be done. I have not gone through all the clauses in the bill, but let us not pass a law without penalties. I hope that there are sufficient penalties and there are provision for enforcement and a provision to ensure that those who are charged with the agency are also accountable. I'm 100% in support. It is good for our country. I think the charter politician from Zamfara said it all. This is the essence of governance. We must protect our natural endowment. We should stop crying and start moving. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your desire to speak. In the next bill, you'll be given the opportunities to speak. Senator Karimi, Senator Ekpanyon, and the rest. It's on this note I want to put the question. Those in favor that this bill will be read a second time, please say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate. For an act to make provisions for Nigerian Gold Reserve Industry Framework and for other related matters, 2024 second reading. This bill is referred to the Committee on Solid Minerals and Banking and Insurance and other financial institutions and to report back within 2 weeks. Let me at this stage commend Senator Akochi for bringing forward this bill. It's a bill that will certainly help our economy. It will help to boost our foreign reserve and also create more jobs within the solid mineral industry. Solid mineral industry. It will create more jobs. The committee? Yes. Solid mineral, as I said, and then Committee on Banking. Solid mineral, I said it first. Chairman, you must have heard me. So it's a twin, it's going to be referred to, it's referred to both committees. So I commend you for bringing forward this bill. Senator Natasha, you've done a wonderful job, very hardworking senator. And you've had the contributions because it's something that has to do with the economy, something that will allow us to exploit our God-given endowment. Is something that has kept or is keeping the economies of several nations, moving. Look at what is happening in Gold Coast, Ghana, South Africa, and so many other countries. And we have it in abundance here. So why shouldn't we exploit it to the maximum? Well, not even maximum. Let's even exploit to, in average fashion. It's something that will really give us the needed money needed. For instance, we are looking for boost our currency, create jobs, and so on and so forth. And I commend all senators that have made their contributions. We work together to really, it's something that we should continue to work together in this fashion to bring about sound economy to our nation. The Clerk of the Senate.